How to change the Constitution. Article 5. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or, on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which, in either case, shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state, without its consent, shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. What does this all mean? How to change or amend the U.S. Constitution. 2/3 of both houses, Congress, 2/3 of the members of the House of Representatives, and 2/3 of the Senate must vote for the amendment. Then 3/4 of the state legislatures vote on the amendment. Or 2/3 of the state legislatures, such as Michigan, Ohio, Alabama, Arizona, Texas, etc., must call a convention or meeting to change the Constitution. Then 3/4 of the state legislatures vote on the amendment. When does this happen? The U.S. Constitution, Article 5, does not provide a time limit on ratifying. That means passing or voting for or against the amendment. This means that years could pass before the amendment was passed or denied. Usually, the wording in the proposed amendment requires a time to pass the amendment. I'm going to pick an example that is really close to me because I am a woman in the U.S. and I believe in my civil rights. Some people disagree, including women, with my thoughts, but here it is. The Equal Rights Amendment was passed by Congress on March 22, 1972, then sent to the states for ratification. That means passing. This is the text of the Equal Rights Amendment. Section 1. Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on the account of sex. Section 2. The Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. Section 3. This article shall take effect 2 years after the date of ratification. The ERA was not ratified. In March 1972, Congress set a 7-year deadline for ratification. That deadline passed. The ERA, Equal Rights Amendment, was not ratified. The deadline was extended by 3 years, but the ratification was short by 3 states. The ERA. There have been some attempts to extend the ratification deadline, but this has not happened. Here's a question for you. Do women have equal rights according to the U.S. Constitution? What do you think? Remember that women were denied the vote because the Constitution specifically did not state that women could vote. There is no part in the U.S. Constitution and amendments stating specifically that women have the right to work, to bear children, to bear arms, or have equal civil rights. Remember that civil rights means political rights. Civil rights. What are civil rights? This means voting, being involved in government. That includes running for public office. Under the Constitution and Bill of Rights, free speech, freedom to petition government, to tell government what you want, freedom to bear arms, freedom to associate, belong to groups, freedom to congregate, get together, and more. There are some possible amendments from 1789 to 2017. Almost 12,000 amendments were introduced to Congress. These include amendments to ban dueling with pistols, which killed Alexander Hamilton, acknowledge the Christian God. So what about the First Amendment? Abolish the Senate, repeal the term limit of presidents, which was actually the 22nd Amendment of 1951, probably as a reaction to President Franklin Roosevelt being elected 4 times. Who wants a president to serve 16 years, right? Think about what amendment would you propose to the Constitution, if any?